Hey everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, you already know I ask you to do it every single day. Why? Because we are building a tribe. We are building a community over here. And let me tell you, this one is the best. When I say the best, it is. Go in the comments if you don't believe me. You're going to meet the most terrific people you can imagine. And let me tell you, you're going to have fun because they're so funny. They are, and they're smart, and they're just the best. And if you want to be a part of it, you know what you need to do? Go down here in these settings. Look around, find that subscribe button, and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit your notification bell too so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis, the beast. I'm telling you, whoo, that's all I can say about it. It always has me by the neck. I'm telling you. Also, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to the people who decide to support the channel by watching the commercials. Let me tell you, it is such a huge help. I appreciate it. I know it's not easy. Sometimes they play the same commercials over and over again, but you decide not to skip and to support the channel, and it means everything. So I just want to say thank you for that. Also, right about here, that's the join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I will be so grateful, so thankful, so over the moon appreciative to have your support. Also, if you want to do a one-time donation, our super thanks button is right over there. And all donations to the channel is always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all. With all that said, it's time for the read. And y'all know when I am putting the read together, y'all know what I do. I hit these internet streets. And that's exactly what I have been doing today. I have been all over the place. I have been on all the social media platforms, from Blue Sky to TikTok to Instagram, over there seeing what the Instagram squatties are doing. And they are all over the place as usual, talking about Harry dragging William for being a troll, still dragging that chef, just doing that too. And just talking about some of the people who have come out trying to criticize Megan. I'm telling you, any opportunity to get 15 minutes of fame, these people are just up for it, or to be a sycophant for that family over there. I have just never saw anything like the boot licking that those people over there across the pond is willing to do for a family whose only achievement is that they slipped out of a birth canal. It is crazy to me, but it's a lot of that. I stopped Megan a little bit over on Instagram. I didn't see anything new from her. And then I made my way over to the sewer. You know, I lovingly call it the sewer, which is X, formerly known as Twitter, to see what the squatties over there were doing. And they pretty much doing the same thing. They skull dragging a whole lot of people, and they are looking into this fake account, allegedly, that William had. Just really trying to run that string to the ground to see if that's really his account. This account that we talked about in my last podcast, and we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. We have a lot. It's not just one big story on these internet streets today. And it's no big story on these internet streets today. The squatties are just talking about a whole lot of stuff and dragging the people who need to be drugged. You know, they dragging this woman who stepped to the front. I think she's related. She's the sister-in-law to Pippa, which we all know that Pippa is the sister to Kate Middleton. And she has kindly come to the front with her criticism, and she has been handled, told to mind her business because she has some business she needs to mind. And the squatties posted all of that on social media. That is the reason why you should never come to the front, and you should keep your mouth shut and stop clutching your imaginary pearls every time Megan walks in her garden. or just minds her business, because that's what's upsetting you, that she is totally and absolutely unbothered with the other one across the pond. I'm just saying. But yes, we're going to talk about that. And like I said, a whole lot of little things that we're going to touch on. But we do have a lot. So let's get started. I want to talk about William and this fake account. And the squatties are really starting to ramp up and search out who does this account belong to. And they, like I said, are really believing and saying that it is the account that I showed y'all in the last podcast. But I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty posted the article that outed William as a troll, because they said he be trolling online forums where he posts under a fake name. Now that's what the Mirror said. Now, if it's a lie, they told it, and we all know they will tell a lie, but they usually tell their lies on Harry and Meghan, and tell the truth about William and Kate, because that's how they punish them. But I digress. This particular squatter posted that and said this: I wonder if William is a deranger. Well, let me answer that question. Absolutely, he is. Absolutely, he is. You have to be deranged to keep up a one sided competition and a one sided war with your brother, who has totally and absolutely ignored you for the past, what, 3 years or more. He has never even opened his mouth or said anything or called your name. And here you are continuing to troll him, continue to order your flying monkeys to attack him and all of your troll farm. Yes, yes, he is a deranger. You have to be deranged to still feel some kind of way about your brother's success. This one sided competition. So, yes, I would say he was a deranger. And then it goes on to say, can you imagine the outrage if Harry or Meghan admitted to being a troll? Absolutely. Absolutely. It would be outrage. It would be probably, what is it, articles for war or something like that. These people would lose their ever loving mind if Harry and Meghan was outed as troll or trolling them over there. But Harry and Meghan doesn't even troll them. Harry and Meghan doesn't even speak of them, and they even have a problem with that. Harry and Meghan continues to serve up plate after plate after plate of dust, never mentioning them, never even looking over there in their direction. But yet and still, they have their bot farms, they have all of these troll accounts targeting Harry and Meghan, and let them have a new project. And here they come, all their sycophants, all their toadies, all their flying monkeys, all their minions, potato heads, and all the ugly old hags show up. And they started that. It started over there at Kensington Palace. And we all know that's where it started. We have evidence that that's where it started, and we're going to talk about it a little later. But yes, so yes, he's a deranger. And yes, it would be, I'm telling you, it would be, they would spin out of control. I'll put it that way. They would spin completely out of control if they found out that Harry and Meghan was online trolling them folks over there, generating hate accounts against them. Anything, all the stuff that they have done to Harry and Meghan, if Harry and Meghan did a fraction of that, they would lose their ever loving mind. Harry and Meghan does nothing but mind their Montecito business, and they still lose their ever loving mind. They have absolutely shown themselves to be totally and completely crazy over across that pond, because they have lost their SHIT over a lifestyle show. A lifestyle show. Nothing controversial whatsoever. Never mention that family in any kind of way. They proved exactly what needed to be proven. They showed themselves for what they are. Because you remember they always would say, if they would just stop talking about the royal family, if they would stop talking about the royal family, nobody would say anything. But they constantly talking about the royal family. Harry and Meghan has not even said one word about that family over there. And this show, she never even gave a hint of anything that she even was a part of that family at any time. But yet and still, they lost their collective SHIT on panel after panel and article after article. Right now, the Daily Mail continues to spin out of control, picking apart every segment of that series. This is who these people are. And this is what he unleashed onto his family, his brother. He did that. And does that make you deranged? Absolutely it does. Absolutely it does. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this up. And this particular squatty said this: under the vilest, most hate-filled post, people have begun to ask one question. William, is that you? Yes, because it's one account that every now and then I kind of go back and forth with, and I have been side eyeing it for a while. And it also has a black woman as the profile pic. It does, and it looks AI generated like this particular profile picture of the one that they say is probably William. I'm just saying. Well, who the squatters believe that is William. And we all know that, like I said in the past, that's what they have been doing. Just putting out all kind of harassing, vile type posts from all of these fake accounts. And it has been said that a lot of that nonsense was coming straight out of Kensington Palace. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this up. And this is the profile page of that account that the squatties are very sus of and really feel that this might be William's fake page. And as you can see, he used a photo of a black woman. And I'm telling you, the squatties are having a field day about that, wondering why would he use a picture, a AI generated picture of a black woman. Now y'all tell me in the comments what y'all think, but these are my thoughts. First, I think because he wants to move in silence, because he would have never chose a picture of a black woman to go on football forums, because that particular profile would stick out like a sore thumb. He chose that to be fade in the background, not to stick out like a sore thumb. And the reason I said fade in the background and move in silence, because he knows a lot of the Sussex squad is women of color. And if he moved in our circles using this profile picture, it's more likely he would not be challenged in who and what he was up to. That's one of my thoughts. And two, my second thought is that we know he is obsessed with a particular black woman that lives in Montecito. And is this something him trying to say that he is obsessed with a black woman? I'm just saying, because I just find it very, very odd that he would use a profile picture of a black woman to troll on football forums. I'm just saying. But y'all tell me what y'all think. And he got up here, and if you look at the bottom, this is one of the tweets that they have pinned to their page. And look what it said. It is from Commonwealth Day. It has pictures from the Commonwealth Day service with him and Kitty Cat. And look at them. They was right there to get the money shot. I bet you they had the videographer and their photographer right in place because they were playing it up in this particular incident. And you can tell they are faking. But I digress. This is what this account posted about that and said this. Oh my God, in love with their love. Yes, and said, such a sexy and lovely couple. Now, that verbiage to me is sus because this is supposed to be a woman. I don't know too many women use the word sexy most of the time, especially when they're referring to a couple. Because if you go and look at when people are talking about Harry and Meghan, they say they're sweet, they're cute, they're, they might say they're really, really an attractive couple, but they rarely say sexy. Sexy is a word that I feel mostly men say a lot, use a lot. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I might be overthinking it, but it just seems sus to me. And then it goes on to say, my, my, my future king is happy and complete again. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then it says, yes, the future of the monarchy got sparkle. And we all know that that word sparkle is always contributed to Meghan, but they use it here. I find this whole thing sus. I really do. And I find it really strange that he used a AI generated picture of a woman of color, a black woman. I'm just saying. I think he wanted to move in silence among the squatties. That's what I think. Trying to figure out what we were saying and what we were up to, getting on our forms. I'm just saying. But y'all tell me what y'all think. I just find it very interesting. And it is some squatties digging into it. They're running that string to the ground to find out if this really is his account or not. I'm just saying. And I can't wait till some of the posts come out. See what he been posting over there. If it's him. I'm just saying. Y'all know I'm nosy. Y'all know I'm nosy. And if I find any more tweets from this account, I will be bringing them to the front. Let me tell you. All right, I will. All right, y'all. I'm going to put this up. And this was a post from yesterday's podcast, and it is from Tina and of Tina and Michelle, who is the OG of OGs, the originators of the Sussex Squad. They are the founders of the Sussex Squad. And she posted this. And it says, for those who used to listen to our podcast back in the day, Michelle and I said many times that we won't be shocked to know that Baldy and his Aryan princess and their KP staff are behind some of these Meghan hate accounts. We always see and have called these things from word go, where it's a lie. And I said this yesterday. They absolutely nailed it. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this is a post from Anne, the Duchess of Success. And when I saw this post, I was a little puzzled by who this woman was that Anne was going completely in on. Because I read what she said and I understood why Anne was going in on her, but I didn't know who she was. What that was a missing piece to the puzzle. So I started to dig around a little bit and look around and see exactly what the squatties were saying about this woman. But basically, about this post, Anne was educating her because she was saying some nonsense about Meghan, talking about how Meghan didn't realize she was black until she went to the UK and contributing that to Meghan, saying that's what Meghan said. And I don't believe that's what Meghan has never said anything like that. and she has never denied her blackness. This is another fanciful lie that these people love to tell. How can you deny your blackness when you're constantly dragging your black mother around with you? Wherever Harry and Meghan, or Meghan is, particularly Meghan is, Doria is not far behind. She has never pretended like she was anything except who she was. So I don't know where these people get this, but they love to do that. And I'm going to put it up. This is what this Heidi N. Moore was saying, and why the Duchess of Success was going in on her. She was saying, seeing many people of color and women of color embarrass themselves by defending the wife of a white imperialist colonizer who insists on using her imperial title has never had even one person of color friend, which is a lie. What? What are you talking about? She has plenty of people of color friends. She does. And it's just ridiculous for her to say that. And it just shows that she knows nothing about Meghan's life, because Meghan's whole family is people of color. And like I have said before, how can you deny your blackness when you're dragging your black mother around everywhere you go? But these people are crazy. And it goes on to say, has never advocated for even one issue of racial injustice beyond her own self, considers her race as an issue that people were never aware of. Now, that is a lie. Like I said, how can people not be aware of your race when your mother is around all the time? Megan has never hid her mother away. She has always centered her mother. Go back and look when they were going to the hotel. Her mother was the only person that was at her wedding. That was her family member. What are you talking about? These people are crazy, let me tell you. But I digress. And it says that people were never aware of and brag repeatedly that she never treated as anything other than white. Okay, it's a choice. That's a lie. Meghan said that her race never was an issue until she went to the UK. She never said she was treated white. I'm just saying that is crazy of this woman. And that is the reason why the Duchess of Success, Anne, was going in on her and was telling them about a program that was presently on Archwell. Archwell currently sponsoring an annual 100K prize for Black thinkers and pioneers, anti-bias training, and to stop the adultification of Black women and girls in the U.S. What the F is this stupid Heidi twit talking about? And this is what the Duchess of Success said. And this kind of tone is very unusual for the Duchess of Success. She's usually very measured in her tone when dealing with people like this. But she seemed to have wanted to go in on this woman. And it goes on to say she knows nothing about Harry and Meghan's work. She's even blocked me, coward. So after the Duchess of Success went in on her, evidently she blocked her. And she would be a coward. Yes, they usually are. They can always dish it out, but it's hard for them to take it. But I must say, this particular post spurred my curiosity to find out who was this Heidi N. Moore. And as I dug into it, I found that it was some squatties talking about that. And some squatty was like me, curious about who this person was. They were saying that name, Heidi N. Moore, was familiar to them, that they had heard it somewhere before, that it was involved in something that had something to do with the Sussex Squad. And then this particular squatty posted this and said, what I remember about Hattie Moore was that she was a close associate of Prince William's right-hand man, Jason Knauf. That's where it's at. She was a close associate to Jason Knauf. That's why the squatters was puzzled and said, that name is familiar, that name is familiar. It was not familiar to me because I had never heard of her before. But I was just curious about who this person, that the Duchess of Success, who rarely goes in, who is always usually really measured when it comes to her response, why she would go in so hard on her and who she was. So that's what piqued my curiosity about her. And then I started digging and seeing where here and there squatters was saying, I think I know her. I think I remember her. And yes, 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 this particular squatty put the thumb on it. They absolutely said this is the same Hattie Moore that was so close to Jason Knauf. And then it goes on to say, after they had a falling out, she came on Twitter and exposed him as the man behind Megan Sussex hate accounts run from Kensington Palace, just like Tina and Michelle was saying in that tweet, was saying so many years ago, that they were running hate accounts out of Kensington Palace. And I don't know how I missed this. Like I said, I wasn't running these streets like I run them now. But this was supposedly back in 2020 and 2021 when they had their falling out. And she jumped on the Twitter machine and said some things. And then this squatter said, I guess they made up. I'll know that they probably had made up. This is who she was the whole time. The whole time, she was always a Meghan hater. She just absolutely hated him more and decided to just kind of lay low. But when Meghan continued with her success, putting up the points one after another on the board, it really troubled those demons to the point where she had to absolutely come out and show her face. And when she did, the squatter said, aha, we know you. We remember you. So I'm going to put up the tweets that she posted at the time outing Jason Knauf as being someone within Kensington Palace running hate accounts against Harry and Meghan. And this is the whole time Harry and Meghan was still in the family and when they had recently left the family. I'm just saying. So I'm going to put it up. And this is the first post that she posted once she fell out with Jason Knauf. And it says, by the way, Jason Knauf's main trolling account on behalf of Kate and William seems to be HRH, Kate spelled with a C. Kate spelled with a C. And it says here on Instagram where he strategizes harassment against women. I bet you that's all they do is sit around and troll Harry and Meghan on their phones and all these different devices. It's almost like a bot farm over there at Kensington Palace. I would not be surprised if they weren't working off of 5 phones or more. Just absolutely running up the numbers on those hate accounts over here, because I have always said that I felt that those numbers on all of these hate accounts and these hate channels are artificially ran up, because it's no way that they get so much more views, so much more than the positive ones. And like I said, you go in the search engine and you put in Meghan and it's nothing but hate channels. Nothing. You cannot tell me that that's organically like that. It is something behind that. And like I said, all those numbers that those hate accounts get, it is people on these bot farms and also a lot of people over there at Kensington Palace running up those numbers on those videos. You cannot tell me any different. Those channels are supported through Kensington Palace, my belief, and they do it with bots and they do it with burner accounts. I'm just saying. But it goes on to say, and she is writing this tweet. It's Mad Day. Her and Jason has fallen out, and now it's Mad Day. And so, since it was Mad Day, she jumped on the Twitter and decided to out him on his hate accounts. And she went on to say at the bottom, please feel free if you're inclined to stop this misogynist harassment to block and report it on both platforms. She means Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter. Yeah, so she outed him as having numerous hate accounts. And then she went on to say, just shut the nonsense down. Jason has gotten too far by doing nothing more than harassing women to an extreme. We don't need more of this online, especially from a crumbling monarchy. She's even mad with the monarchy. She's calling it crumbling, but she didn't lie. But she didn't have to say that. But you all know it was Mad Day. And when it's Mad Day, you just say whatever you want to, and that's exactly what she's doing. And then it goes down to say, also, needless to say, Jason Knauf runs the Kensington Royals account. So also, please remember to unfollow and block that one too, at least until they hire someone who's not a misogynist, racist troll to do their social media. Yeah, she called him a misogynist, racist troll. Why would she do that if he wouldn't? It's Mad Day, yeah. She was cool with him being that way up until they had their falling out, but that still doesn't mean it's not true, because we have saw it on full display. He is exactly that, in my opinion. He is exactly a misogynistic, racist troll. And he does it all on the behalf of William, his boyfriend, his love, allegedly. Allegedly. All right, I'm gonna put this up. And this particular squatty said what about those tweets said, wow, so most of the troll accounts are people from the palace. How low they can go to destroy Meghan and Harry is alarming. Especially because Harry and Meghan never answer back. They never clap back. We have to clap back for them, but they don't. And these people continuously and consistently harass them. They do. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty said this. HRH Kate was outed as a burner account belonging to Jason Knauf. This account was infamous for sending mobs, giving directions and sending mobs. And we all know the mobs. We see the toadies. We know the ugly old hags and also the derangers. They said sending mobs to harass anyone involved with Harry and Meghan. They went after schools, charities, and most recently a vaccine equity advocate. Yes, they went after people, and it was all coming from Kensington Palace. You think William didn't know anything about that? Well, Dickie Arbiter said he did, because when Jason Knauf went to court with that nonsense trying to go up against Meghan and make her lose her case with the Daily Fail, Dickie Arbiter sat on a panel over there in front of God and everybody and said that nothing goes down in those palaces without the permission of the primary. So if that was true about him coming over to the court to testify, it is also true about how he had all these burner accounts. He running the communication office over there at Kensington Palace. How did he not know that they had all of these hate burner accounts coming from over there. He knew. That's how. He knew. He probably sit there and operated some of the computers of the phones himself. It was all about trying to destroy his brother and his wife, and he was willing to do it at any cost. And that include to cheat, to absolutely cheat, to get buy bots, to try to buy influence. Yes, he did that in order so he could use that influence to hurt and direct towards his brother. But yes, and they went after everybody that Harry and Meghan associated with, schools, charities, and he's no telling what kind of charities, but we have saw how they've gone after Well Child. Absolutely, it's Scotty's Little Soldiers. They have no low that they're not willing to go. I'm just saying. But yes, I found that very, very interesting. And I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty said this: all roads always lead to Kensington Palace. Where is the lie? It always leads there because they don't know how to let go. William does not know how to let go. Harry and his wife has moved on, and yet and still they're still stuck over there in a fight that they absolutely created, and they have made a mess of it. And somehow they want to blame it on Meghan and Harry for their screw ups. Because at the end of the day, they have been doing everything they could do to destroy them as a couple, and Harry and Meghan continues to walk in grace. Like I said, better them than me. I'm just saying. All right, this particular squatty posted this and said, the dots are connecting. Quite a number of Harry and Meghan hate accounts have been suspended all at the same time, almost as if they shared a IP address. And like I said, this was back in 2020, 2021, when this whole thing was going on, when Jason Knauf was being put on blast that he had all of these hate accounts coming out of Kensington Palace. And he was outed by his best friends. One of his good sis absolutely aired him out on Twitter, and then the account was suspended, and then a whole lot of other accounts got suspended, like it was on the same IG page. And if you would see, one of the ones that got suspended is Murky Meg, and she is one of the most notorious, evil, hateful, lying piece of work that you want to ever come across when it comes to lying and being hateful towards Meghan. But her account was cut off at the same time as well. And it made people very suspicious on that. Why would her account be cut off or suspended at the same time as this burner account of Jason Knauf? Just wondering, could Murky Meg literally be Jason Knauf, or are they working hand in glove with each other? Who knows? But it is very, very funny. Yes, not funny, haha, funny, weird. But yes, they suspended all of those channels, and it was like 6 or 7 of them that he had that was in conjunction with that name, what is it, HRA or HRH Kate. Yes, and it was coming straight out of Kensington Palace. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this says, all roads always lead to KP. Where is the lie? Because one thing we have learned traveling on this road that leads to KP is that they had a whole bot farm coming out of KP. A whole bunch of accounts, hate accounts being managed over there at KP by Jason Knauf. This is what Heidi Moore is saying. This is what Heidi Moore absolutely on Mad Day decided to tell all of us. Dickie Arbiter sit on a panel who he used to be a press secretary himself. He was the Queen's press secretary, and he said nothing come out of those palaces without the knowledge or the permission of the primary. So you think Jason Knauf was sitting over there on his own running all of these hate accounts without William knowing it? Come on now. And running these hate accounts against his primary's brother and his sister-in-law. Why would William not know about that? And I bet you Harry knows about it too. How? You don't need any enemies when you have a brother like that. He was doing that. And absolutely, after all this went down in 2020 and 2021, him running all those hate accounts against his brother and his brother's wife, William stood up there and pinned that Victoria Cross on Jason Knauf. He did that. And Jason Knauf just said in Australia, in that interview, that 2020 Australia interview, that him and William are still close. So why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he not know what was going on? And he absolutely approved it. And you couldn't tell me any different. And this is the person that calls himself family. This is the person they want to try to browbeat Harry about, saying this is his family. Well, what I say, if this is family, who needs an enemy when you have family like that? William did all of that. He absolutely chose other people over his brother. And the only brother, the only person who really loves him for who he is. Because he's a fool if he thinks Kate loves him for just who he is. And Charles, I don't think Charles has the ability to love anybody. But Harry has always loved William, and William has always despised and was jealous of Harry. And it has shown time and time and time again. And this right here is evidence that William has done everything he knows to destroy his brother. And him in cahoots with that Jason Knauf, and God only knows probably that Christian Jones, all of his gay buddies, had collectively tried to destroy Harry and Meghan. And William, with William's approval. And it's been proven. And I didn't see nobody didn't say nothing when Heidi came out and blew up the spot. She did. And not only did she go and blow up the spot, she tagged Clarence House and she tagged the royal family. That would be Charles and his horse and the Queen. She was out here saying what she had to say, and she absolutely wanted to share that with Charles and the Queen. That William was over there scheming, plotting, and just doing all manner of dirt to his brother, trying to destroy his marriage and his wife. This is what William did. And then on top of that, rewarded the person who helped him. I'm just saying. What do y'all think about that? All right, y'all. This is going to be a short one. I am tired. It's been a long day, but the read had to go on. And I just had to share that little juicy, juicy tidbit. Now, y'all tell me what y'all think about it. This Heidi Moore. What y'all think about her? And on her mad day, I must say, she said some reckless stuff about Meghan recently, and that is why the Duchess of Success had to gather her together, had to get her all the way together. But when you go back, she was absolutely sounding the alarm, telling us that this is what was going on and coming out of Kensington Palace. I'm telling you, something to really think about. Harry should never go back there. He should never talk to his brother again. I hope he has enough evidence to show that this person is not his friend. Just because somebody is your blood does not make them your family. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Bye.